station comprising news, feature, sports, and entertainment. In the lineup, President Tinubu calls for credible governorship election in Osun State. NAFDAC partners pleas on enforcement of sachet alcohol ban. Coming from the foreign scenes, UK set 24-week target for asylum appeal. Heavy rain kills 8 people in Japan. Heart of the matter today is on preventing tomb raiding. We also have entertainment just for you. My name is Feyi Shara Owomoyela. I'm not reading alone. With me is...
I thought you mentioned my name. Okay, I'm Need. I'm so glad to be with you. You can listen to us as we live stream on www.radionigeriaibadan.gov.ng or watch us live on Facebook at Premier FM 93.5. Election is not a do or die affair. Shun violence. Now let me bring you the first story. President Bola Tinubu has charged the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) and the security agencies to ensure a peaceful, transparent, and credible governorship election in Osun State. In a statement by his special advisor on information and strategy, Mr. Bayo Ononuga, President Tinubu urged INEC to ensure the integrity of the electoral process and provide a transparent and orderly election. President Tinubu said all stakeholders must ensure that the election was transparent, free, and fair. He urged INEC to use the election as an opportunity to demonstrate its preparedness for the 2027 general elections. The election is scheduled for tomorrow, with 15 candidates contesting the governorship seat.
Meanwhile, less than 24 hours to the Osun State governorship election, Osogbo State, the state capital, is calm with residents going about their normal duty. Radio Nigeria Rubin correspondents report that security operatives have embarked in routine patrol of the major streets to maintain peace and order. Some areas, including Okefia, Ilesha Garage, Old Garage, and Post Office areas, have been experiencing slight gridlock following the influx of visitors into the state capital. Stakeholders, including the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), security agencies, foreign observers, local observers, civil society groups, and the media, are all set for off-cycle election. Similarly, the ancient town of Ilesha is calm as business activities are going on smoothly, while everyone is going about his normal duty. Heavy presence of security operatives, including the Nigerian Army, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC), the police, is observed at strategic locations of the town, such as the popular roundabout Ishokun, Iyemokun, Omiashoro, at the INEC office at Ajimoko. Polling officers were seen collating voting materials amidst tight security in the presence of representatives of political parties. The state governor, Senator Ademola Adeleke, declared today a work-free day to enable residents, especially those traveling to the town, to adequately participate in the governorship election.
And I guess people can still drive into Osun State till 6 p.m. thereabout.
Before the curfew.
Before the curfew will start, and then election tomorrow. The Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, has deployed 2,500 personnel and 50 operational vehicles, including 7 heavy-duty tow trucks and 6 ambulances, to ensure effective traffic management and emergency response during tomorrow's election. In a statement signed by the Corps Public Education Officer, Mr. Osondu Ohairi, the FRSA said the deployment would cover the 3 senatorial districts and all operational areas of the state to ensure seamless traffic flow, prompt emergency response, and compliance with the restriction of movement order during the election. The Corps noted that the deployment comprises 2,300 personnel from the Osun State Sector Command, supported by 50 personnel each from the Ondo, Ekiti, Oyo, and Ogun Sector Commands.
Still in Osun State, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has distributed sensitive electoral materials ahead of tomorrow's governorship election in Osun State. The materials, which include ballot papers, result sheets, and other sensitive election documents, were distributed overnight and monitored by relevant stakeholders. Our correspondent reports that after the distribution, vehicles conveying the materials departed for their various local government areas across the state. The movement of the materials was carried out under tight security, with security personnel accompanying the vehicles to their various destinations. Speaking on the distribution, INEC National Supervising Commissioner Professor Kunle Ajayi said the process was delayed due to the reprinting of ballot papers following a court judgment directing INEC to include the Social Democratic Party SDP governorship candidate on the ballot paper. The materials arrived at the Central Bank of Nigeria CBN premises yesterday under the supervision of officials of INEC and security agencies.
And few hours to the Osun State governorship election, voters have called on the electoral umpire to ensure adequate measures are put in place to guarantee their safety and ensure a smooth exercise. They also urged key stakeholders, including the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC, politicians, and security agencies, to play their roles in line with the Electoral Act. Mojisola Oladele complete the story.
The electorate in Osun State will be going to the poll on Saturday to elect a new governor who will pilot the affairs of the state for the next 4 years. According to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, 14 political parties have been cleared to participate in the election. Despite heightened security tension across the state in the last few months, voters are ready to exercise their civic responsibility and hopeful for a fair and credible poll. Speaking with Radio Nigeria on what matters to the voter, a legal practitioner, Mr. Alfred Adegoke, who observed that security of residents was not negotiable, decried the alleged harassment of some individuals by the police and political thugs, describing such action as not only barbaric but a threat to democracy. He also maintained that the voter expects noticeable improvements in the areas of education, health, transportation, as well as improved economy, among others, from the incoming government.
The politicians come and make promises that they don't fulfill, and life just continue like that. So to me, what people want in election, people want fundamental improvement in their life: education, health, food, housing, transportation.
Mr. Adegoke said the political office holders should formulate policies aimed at reducing poverty in the land rather than embarking on infrastructural projects which gulp large sums of money at the expense of the common man. On his part, a community leader in Oshogbo, Mr. Jide Falade, said it was imperative for the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to ensure ad hoc staff and electoral material arrive as early as possible for voting exercise to start and end as scheduled, emphasizing that it would not be safe for the exercise to end at night as reported in some past elections.
I want to plead to INEC. INEC too should be very conscious of these facts, and they should allow materials to get to the polling booth on time, because people are saying that they will not tolerate a situation that people will now be voting in the night. Mr.
Falade advised voters to exercise their franchise peacefully and avoid sad talks that could incite violence at the polling booths. He stressed the need for peace before, during and after the exercise. Also speaking, the Osun State Chairman, Joint National Association of Persons with Disabilities, and a member of the association, Mr. Oluwafemi Stephen, and Mr. Olakusbe Olariwaju, noted that persons with disabilities, PWDs, are special people and integral part of the community who need support and important aids, which should be provided by INEC to enable them exercise their franchise with little or no stress. They said PWDs and aged voters should be given special consideration because of their situation.
When everybody's vote will, as a person with a disability, we don't need to stay there. We should go home because of safety.
To encourage people with disabilities by attending to them, giving them priority, so that whenever they come, whether people are on the queue or not, they should allow them to cast their votes due to the condition they are in.
The DOE, however, called on their members and other voters to resist inducement of any form so as not to jeopardize the process. In his contribution, an artisan, Mr. Joshua Akoride, explained that the voter expects optimal performance from INEC officials, security personnel, and other relevant stakeholders to achieve a successful election.
I implore the INEC officials that they should please be fair. All the electoral personnel, they should be fair.
Mr. Akorede also called on political gladiators to play the game by the rules and check their supporters from eating up the polity. In Oshogbo, Mojisola Oladele, Radio Nigeria.
All right, still going back there on the Osun State governorship election, discussions have centered on the institutions and political structures that shape the democratic process at the grassroots. Among the concerns raised by stakeholders are political interference, limited autonomy, and the influence of godfatherism. In this report, Zion Oyelade examines the role of local government administration and grassroots political structures in the governorship election and democratic governance.
Speaking with Radio Nigeria, a political analyst, Mr. Abajide Esen, noted that grassroots political structures encourage political awareness, promote civic responsibility, and increase voter turnout during election, thereby strengthening democratic participation. Mr. Esen said political parties identify local needs, articulate the interests of the people, and provide a platform through which citizens can express their opinions and influence public policy.
They have to see it as a responsibility of doing the right thing, making sure they vote for the real candidate, for those who actually want to serve them. And it shouldn't be about the noise or how much money someone has to buy votes across polling units.
When internal party democracy becomes weak, Mr. Esen said issues such as imposition of candidates, factionalism, and godfatherism might undermine their effectiveness, weaken public confidence, and hinder the consolidation of democracy at the local level. In his opinion, a community leader, Chief Oludairo Ashaolu, stressed that local government officials should remain accessible to the people, listen to community needs, and ensure that developmental projects reflect the priorities of the grassroots. Chief Ashaolu noted that godfatherism had continued to undermine internal party democracy, limit the emergence of credible candidates, and weaken public confidence in the electoral process.
The issue of godfatherism is not as terrible as issue of payment, jumbo salary given to. So if the issue of this jumbo salary can be pegged, the issue of godfatherism is there, but it's minor.
Chief Ashaolu observed that influential political leaders could strengthen political parties at the grassroots by providing funding, organizational support, and mentorship, stressing that their experience and network often help at mobilizing supporters, sponsor party activities, and nurture emerging political leaders. Also speaking, the public relations officer, Osun State Independent National Electoral Commission, Mr. Ariyo, urged citizens to vote according to their conscience, reject vote buying and undue political influence, and support peaceful, free, and credible election. He said responsible citizens should accept credible election outcome peacefully, hold elected leaders accountable through lawful means, participate in community development, and remain informed about government policies.
The security agencies, they have assured us of their preparedness. We are engaging with various groups. We are in constant engagement with them, and we are telling the entire public that people's vote, we can't.
Mr. Ariyo added that these responsibilities could help strengthen democracy, promote good governance, and ensure that elected officials remain accountable to the people. In Ilesha, Zion Oyelade, Radio Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much, Zion. We now go to Bauchi State. The former Director General of the Department of State Services, DSS, Mr. Lawal Daura, has been named the running mate to the presidential candidate of the Allied People's Movement APM, Engineer Seyi Makinde, for the 2027 general election. Governor Makinde made the announcement during the party's national convention held in Bauchi, where party officials were also re-elected. Speaking after unveiling Mr. Daura, the Oyo State Governor said the opposition must move beyond the ambition of taking over power and focus on presenting Nigerians with a credible alternative capable of rebuilding the country. He said the 2027 election should be about offering citizens a meaningful choice rather than another cycle of campaign rhetoric. The APM presidential candidate noted that Although political parties and candidates would flood the public space with promises and slogans during the campaigns, Nigerians should insist on competence, vision, and accountability from those seeking public office.
The National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, and the Nigeria Police Force Ogun State Command have strengthened their cooperation on enforcement activities aimed at protecting public health, as well as regulating the sale and distribution of alcoholic drinks in the state. The renewed cooperation followed a visit to the coordinator of NAFDAC, Mr. Akinwale Fagoroye, to the Nigeria Police Force Ogun State Command, Elewenro Abeokuta. Speaking during the visit, the Commissioner of Police in the state, Mr. Bodeo Jajuni, said it remained committed to supporting lawful regulatory enforcement and other government efforts aimed at protecting lives and promoting public safety. In his remarks, the NAFDAC coordinator in the state, Mr. Fagoroye, urged manufacturers, importers, distributors, wholesalers, retailers and consumers to comply with the directive and cooperate with NAFDAC officials during enforcement operations. Mr. Fagoroye added that the agency would continue to partner the police to ensure compliance with the law and protect Nigerians from activities and products that might pose risks to their health and safety.
This is the world today, the stories that made the headlines. President Tinubu has called for credible governorship election in Osun State. NAFDAC has partnered police on enforcement of sachet alcohol ban. And still to come, UK sets 24-week target for asylum appeal, and heavy rain kills 8 people in Japan. Do stay with us.
Glad to know you're still with us. It's the last edition of the news on the world today for the week. And now we move to the foreign scenes. The United Kingdom government has introduced a new 24-week target for asylum and immigration appeal decisions as it seeks to reduce lengthy waiting times and speed up the removal of people found to have no right to remain in the country. The target applies to new asylum and immigration appeals submitted to the first-tier tribunal involving non-detained foreign national offenders and individuals receiving asylum support and accommodation. UK Home Office, in a statement on its website, stated that under the new target, the first-tier tribunal will be expected to hear the cases within 24 weeks of receiving them.
At least 8 people have died as record rainfall pummeled eastern Japan and left thousands stranded at Tokyo's Narita Airport. The rains, which authorities have described as unprecedented, cut power to more than 20,000 households in Chiba Prefecture. Report says the deluge comes after a series of storms swept through Japan and neighboring countries this week, in what meteorologists forecast to be an unusual active typhoon season. Japan's meteorological agency said the most recent deluge was brought by warm, humid air flowing into the country's east that combined with cold air to make atmospheric conditions extremely unstable.
Away from the foreign scenes, we move to the exciting world of sports. Super Falcons of Nigeria will miss out in the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup after losing 2-1 to Bayana of South Africa in the Confederation of African Football CAF playoff. It is the first time ever the Super Falcons would not be featuring in the FIFA Women's World Cup. Meanwhile, the Black Queens of Ghana defeated the Lady Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire 2-1 to advance to the FIFA Intercontinental Qualifiers playoff alongside South Africa.
And that's very sad and very disturbing because I thought our girls would go. And when you said the exciting world of sports, I was like, well, not exciting to me.
That forms the part of the excitement. You cannot win and win and win all the time.
As the when you don't
Have
win,
you seen a sky without blue?
when you don't win,
stuff?
it's no longer exciting.
And our girls should also trim down. You see their thighs?
I didn't watch to that extent.
Okay.
Let's go to Heart of the Matter. Heart of the Matter today is on preventing tomb raiding. It is written by an intern from Polytechnic Imesile, Osun State, Temitayo Ayodele.
Tomb raiding is one of the most disturbing and shameful forms of criminality confronting society today. Tomb raiding is an illegal act of breaking into a grave or burial site to steal valuable artifacts or personal items left with the dead. The criminals unlawfully enter burial grounds, exhume corpses, and in some cases, remove human body parts for rituals, financial or other criminal purposes. Ordinarily, a grave is supposed to be a final resting place where families can visit and mourn their loved ones, pay their respects, and preserve their memories. To do otherwise is not only an offense against the law, it is an attack on the dignity of the dead and emotions of the bereaved families. One major concern surrounding tomb raiding is the belief that human parts are sometimes sought for ritual purposes, as this practice is fueled by the desperate pursuit of wealth and the false belief that human remains can provide supernatural powers or instant prosperity. The culture of acquiring wealth at all costs must be tackled headlong, as there is no shortcut to legitimate success. Wealth obtained through crime, violence, or the desecration of human remains cannot bring genuine peace, honor, or lasting prosperity. Some cemeteries are poorly secured, overgrown with bushes, poorly lit, and inadequately monitored, and these conditions create opportunities for criminals to gain access, particularly at night. It is important for government and cemetery authorities to take urgent steps to secure burial grounds across the country, such that cemeteries should have proper perimeter fencing, adequate lighting, security personnel, and where possible, surveillance system and regular inspection of graves should also be encouraged so that suspicious activities can be detected quickly. Security agencies must investigate cases of grave desecration thoroughly and ensure that anyone involved in the illegal exhumation, possession, sale, or trafficking of human remains is prosecuted according to the law. Cemetery workers and guards must also be properly screened and held accountable for their responsibilities. It is pertinent for stakeholders to teach people on the value of human life and the importance of respecting the dead. There should be an awareness campaign about the dangers and consequences of tomb raiding without unnecessarily sensationalizing the crime. Nigerians on their part must reject the idea that success can be achieved through shortcuts or the desecration of graves, as a society that loses respect for its dead is gradually losing respect for human life itself. Inasmuch as the dead cannot defend themselves, it is therefore the responsibility of the living to protect their dignity. The time has come for government, security agencies, cemetery authorities, religious and traditional rulers, families and communities to work together to end this disturbing practice.
Very disturbing. That script on preventing tomb raiding was written by an intern from the Polytechnic in Mesile, Osun State, Temitayo Ayodele, and read by Remy Omolola.
We now join Rashida Makinde on the entertainment segment.
Hello, listener. It's another Friday. Welcome to another edition of the Entertainment News for the week. This segment is where we bring gist and apropos from the entertainment industry for your pleasure. Come along with me and be informed and entertained. Thank God it's Friday. Let's begin on a sharing note, which of course has to do with the Thanksgiving party celebrating actor Lateef Adedimeji and his wife Mobimpe's triplets in Lagos State. But a video has gone viral after capturing BBN Nigeria reality star Imisi dancing in a way netizens see as provocative before veteran Fuji musician Kwamwan, who sang her praises. The scene played out at what was meant to be a joyful family celebration for the popular Nollywood couple, but the video has since attracted significant comments online, and not all of them were celebratory. While many acknowledge the festive atmosphere of the event, a number of social media users used the opportunity to caution Imisi about what they perceived to be inappropriate, especially for the occasion. Imisi, it's as though you took the spotlight from the celebrant, Lateef and his wife. Nollywood actress Iyabo Ojo has raised the alarm over what she described as a deliberate plot against her, issuing a stank warning to those she believes are behind it. The actress took to her Instagram page to share a message that didn't name anyone directly but left little doubt about her mood. In the post, Ojo made it clear that she is fully aware of what is happening around her, referencing crooked plans, camouflage visits, and silent whisperings as evidence that those working against her are not as discreet as they believe. She connected the alleged plot to her long-standing public position against injustice, suggesting that her outspokenness has made her a target, and despite the pressure, she said she has no intention of backing down. The prophecy targeting actress Regina Daniels has gone viral on the internet, raising fresh concerns among fans who had already noticed her unusual absence from social media. The post came from a cleric identified as Prophet Samuel King Ministry, who claimed that enemies were working to silence Regina rather than physically harm her, warning that those around her, including friends and workers, could not be fully trusted. He alleged that her phones had been monitored between November last year and April this year, and that private investigators had been deployed to gather information on her. The cleric urged Regina Daniel to avoid making live videos about her personal life, to protect her children, and to exercise extreme caution with those around her, especially family members, friends, and religious leaders. Finally, and on an emotional note, Nollywood actor Ike Ogbonna has spoken candidly about the toll his close friend Alex Ekubo's death has taken on him, noting that life has not been the same since losing him a couple of months back. In a video posted on his social media page, Ogbonna admitted he had not been fully present in the weeks following Alex's passing, acknowledging that grieving has been an overwhelming experience for him. He described the period as one that required everyone close to Alex to find their footing again, each in their own way. Beyond expressing his grief, Ogbonna used the video to extend his appreciation to fans and those around him who remained patient and supportive while he walked through the pain. Well, what can we say other than that God should keep strengthening you? Well, that's a wrap on today's edition on Entertainment News for the week. Join us next week for fresh edition. On behalf of the editor, Emilia Ojemudia, I'm Rashida Makinde, urging you to have a lovely weekend. Bye.
So to end the news on the world today from the stable of Radio Nigeria, the day's top stories again. President Bola Tinubu has charged the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) and security office agencies to ensure a peaceful, transparent and credible governorship election in Osun State. The NAFDAC and the Nigeria Police Force Ogun State Command have strengthened their cooperation on enforcement activities aimed at protecting public health, as well as regulating the sale and distribution of alcoholic drinks in the state. The UK government has introduced a new 24-week target for asylum and immigration appeal decisions as it seeks to reduce lengthy waiting times and speed up the removal of people who found to have no right to remain in the country. We're told that at least 8 people have died as record rainfall pummeled eastern Japan and left thousands stranded at Tokyo's Narita Airport.
And that's the news on the world today for this week. To join us on Monday for a fresh edition of the program, Rashida Makinde edited. I am Fejishara Owumuyela, thanking you for staying tuned. Have a restful weekend.
Thank you, Tete, and thank you, Chinelo. My name is Niyi Downs. Stay lifted and bye for now.